I got a picture from the party that night from Mike Cugno talking about a who's who, him and Paul Castronovo. We had no idea what was going to transpire. He just wanted to troll me by being with a different radio guy at this big event. Paul Castronovo does mornings on Big 106 or Big 105.9. I don't know what they call it nowadays. But he is arguably the most popular morning man on FM radio. Not arguably, he is. I mean, he's a legend. So he's on your flight back. You had given me and Solana a little preview via our text thread, and then Paul sent out a tweet last night, which obviously was referencing what happened. What happened as you were flying home from Canton yesterday?
So the party ended about 12 Saturday night. We stayed in Cleveland to get into Cleveland Airport because Canton, you have to go through like 7 stops to get back to Fort Lauderdale. So we had to drive an hour and 15 minutes back. So now, long story short, we only sleep about 4 hours because we had to get up and make this 8 o'clock flight. Get on the plane, and OJ's in front of me. Paul's behind me. Dwight Stevenson and his wife is up there. You know, we did a little first class this time. Asia was with me, so I had to pull out the 401k earnings.
We know the truth.
We'll go to take off on time. As soon as the pilot hits the gas, that when they really kick it in to take off, you just hear this big ass thump. And then everything shuts down on the plane. We're like, here we go. Pull off. There's all this technical difficulty. Now we have to get off the plane. They're like, leave your carry-ons. You're fine. We're going to fix the plane. Get off, stretch your legs. Get off the plane. Wait for an hour. Then they come and tell us, okay, get your carry-ons. You have to change planes. Now you got to get the carry-ons. We get back off. Wait another 40 minutes. Get on the other
Paul was
plane.
not happy, by the way. Already he was having a bad day because he was tweeting about it.
Everybody's having it. Joe Rose was on the plane as well. Like, there was a lot of people, a lot of Dolphin employees. So you could, like, when we get to the airport, everybody's eating bagels. We're all laughing and playing. By about the second hour of us supposed to leave at 8 and it's 10 o'clock, people stop talking. Like, now everybody's irritated.
Just
finally
get
on our plane. Get home. Land in Lauderdale. 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired. We're rushing. Now I'm trying to get home to the kids. Our babysitter wants to leave. I grabbed the wrong bag. Didn't know it.
From the overhead.
Went in overhead, saw the bag, black handle, silver lining, looked just like mine.
Was it above your seat?
Yes, because Paul was right behind me. The first class only has three rows. So it's only, 12 seats up there, and it's just 3. And you look at the picture Paul sent out, the bags look exactly alike. Grab his bag, and I leave. While I'm leaving, I look down, my phone's dead, to call the valet, the Fort Lauderdale valet, to have him bring the car up. My wife has to do it. We're all good. So I'm not worried about my phone. I don't care. Drive all the way home to Davie. Get home.
Because your phone's dead.
Phone in. Phone's dead. Plug my phone in. Johnny Williams. OJ's calling me. Paul's calling me. All these people start calling me. So I'm thinking, my first thing is Joe Rose had a heart attack. I'm like, something went wrong. I swear to God, I think somebody died.
Interesting.
Okay. Hey, so
Possible.
I called Juice back first. I'm like, what's up, Juice? He was like, hey, you got Paul's bag. I was like, no, I don't. He was like, yes, you do. Call, go look at the bag. On top of it, it has a big ass sign, Paul Castronovo, and a cell phone number under it. It's his bag. I call Paul. Paul, where you at? I'll meet you. He starts cussing. I'm at the damn baggage claim. They won't give me your bag. I've been here an hour and a half. I had to go to another terminal to get it. My man, Paul Castronovo, is waiting for my bag when he didn't have to. He could have just left and got his bag from.
Well, wait a second. Was your bag checked?
No, my bag was in the overhead as well.
But they wouldn't let him take it?
No, because, and this is my thing, maybe just grab the bag and see what happens. But he tells the people, hey, I can't find my bag. So then they start getting all the bags.
So this was kind of self-inflicted by him.
Yes, but so legally they can't give him his bag. So I call him. He has to give the guy, they open my bag. What color shoes are in your bag? I was like, white Air Force One, size 13. What jersey's in your bag? Zach Thomas jersey, aqua with green line. I'm telling him everything in my bag. What else is in your bag? So I had to go through this damn SAT questionnaire about how to get this bag. Can I authorize it to give it to Mr. Paul? I'm like, give it to him. So he gets it. Takes him another hour to get back to his car. So now he expected to be home about 12:31. Now it's 5:36 at night. I have to drive back to the airport to meet him on 84, over there by Anthony's runway
Runway 84.
to give him his bag. I would say Paul's a nice guy. After that run-in, he was a little edgy.
Well, he's a Florida Gator. He loves you.
Yes.
And he's a Dolphins fan. But I will say this, because I've heard some of his side. Ari Odzer from NBC6 texted me with a recap this morning of what Paul had to say on the radio show. I've heard your side. I have a couple feelings on this. First of all, if you're bringing a carry-on bag, it's up to you to make sure you have at least one eye on it at all times so that no one takes it. So already in my mind, what are you doing when you're getting off the flight that you're just letting people grab willy-nilly where you know you put your bag and you're not even just glancing upwards?
You know what? And
little self-inflicted there. Then, secondly, he realizes, I'm guessing, that you took his bag. Just take your bag. You don't have to alert the authorities here. First of all, they don't want to be bothered with it. They got things to do. But now everybody's got to follow all these rules. But it was very nice of him to stick around the airport because he could have driven home, left your bag there.
Yes.
And then you would have had to get him his bag. Are you a felon?
And I stole his bag.
Right.
That was half the conversation. Like when I text Paul, I was like, sorry, Paul, 4-hour late flight. And now some big idiot stole your bag. I'm sorry. I apologize for your bag. Was that?
Did you go through his bag?
I didn't.
Oh, I'd have gone through that bag.
That's ridiculous. I didn't at all. You know what the bad thing about your first point was? I reach up, I grab his bag. I grab Asia's bag first. Put Asia's bag down. She grabs her handle. I reach up, grab his bag, put his bag down on the floor, take out the little retractable handle, turn around, give him dap and say, good to see you, Paul. Fun weekend. So I'm holding his bag while I'm talking to him. And I just walk out and then.
Well, I mean, what's he doing? How is it possible that you were able to get off the flight and he still hasn't checked for his bag? What's he what is he doing? Is he finishing a crossword puzzle?
He was actually a lot of conversation was going. Let's be honest. It's why I hauled ass so fast when I got the bag, because now you're flying back from Canton to Fort Lauderdale when Zach Thomas just got inducted the night before. The entire plane of Dolphin fans, myself, Joe Rose, OJ McDuffie, Dwight Stevenson, we've now taken 40 or 50 pictures with people. So my thought is, I'm in the third row. If I get out of here fast enough,
right, I don't have to deal with that anymore.
I can avoid more conversation, and I'm kind of irritated because this flight is 4 hours delayed. So me and Asia are literally jogging through the airport to try to get back to our car. And Paul, I guess Paul was a little more willy-nilly with his time and wanted to converse.
Yeah, so he's lollygagging, and it cost him an extra, he's got a glad hand with Dwight Stevenson and OJ, and all of a sudden ends up costing him 3-4 hours. But then here's the other thing. If you meet him on State Road 84 and you offer to take him to Little Reds, that's insulting. You should have offered to take him to Runway 84.
I just spent $250 on a rental car. I spent $400 on a room.
The guy went way out of his way to make it more convenient for you by making sure he brought your bag home. Although, to be quite honest, for you to drive from where you were heading out east anyway. You could have gone to the airport. You could have gone to State Road 84. It really didn't matter.
Oh, I'm about to take a home equity line out on my house right now. I can't take people to Runway 84.
Well, maybe stop flying first class and parking VIP valet at the airport.
Let's show out for Asia.
We'll get into that further because and then I told him yesterday too, Paul, they stole the Dolphins. We'll steal your bags. I mean, we're going to get our retribution. So listen, enjoy your Dolphins games over there. Every time you travel, let's just say we've got people. We're stealing your bags.
Let me tell if Paul was listening, because we joked about it. He had some, it wasn't even jokes. I say he was coming on. He was complimenting Asia in a way that I wasn't comfortable with.
Oh, interesting.
And so he was like, oh, I should have, when he came to pick his bag up from the gas station, he was like, I knew you'd get me back for that thing I said about Asia. And I was like, you know what? That's what it was. I'm not comfortable with somebody talking to my wife. Him and Joe Rose. Like Joe walked up to me, walking to Zach's party, walking around hugging people, saying what's up to everybody. We go talk to Joe Rose. So Asia then walks away, and I'm like, okay, Joe, I see it a little bit. Hey man, hey Crowder, your wife's smoking hot. I don't know if you're allowed to say that to a man.
Who said that to you, Joe?
Joe Rose said that to me, and
yeah,
I was
that's inappropriate.
Inappropriate. Then Paul comes back and says something else too late. I don't know if it's an old white man thing or something, but I was like, hey, don't compliment my wife. I don't care how good she looks. Just let's say beautiful couple, beautiful family, whatever you want. Hey there, Crowder, that Asia is smoking hot.
Yeah, because I know, I've been around Joe. He says it in a very leering fashion. Like it's not a casual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can feel the eyes just. I don't like it.
He says it like it was a waitress, like two guys sitting there and be like, "Hey, look at the waitress. She's hot." He like tapped me when I was walking away, grabbed my arm and whispered in my ear, "Hey, Crowder, that Asia's smoking hot." Huh? My wife of 12 years is who you're speaking of?
Right. The mother of my children.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want you looking at her like that.
Interesting.
She did look
lot to unpack here. Lot to unpack.
I'm slowly getting some more information about the Paul Castronovo.
Oh, I'm getting some as well.
Yeah. I didn't tell the part that Paul gave his seat to my wife.
I am getting information from Paul himself, who says there's one crucial piece of information that may have skipped your desk. Ask your partner why my bag was sitting above his head. I gave up my seat so he could sit with his wife because someone on that flight didn't know how to book a seat next to their significant other.
And Paul I don't even ask him. She sits down first. He figures it out and he says, "Oh, I got you. Sit next to your wife." Because he's the most pleasant guy in the world. That's why I feel so bad.
Why didn't you have a seat next to Asia for the flight?
She likes to talk. No, by the time I booked it, they were taken.
So this seems to be some crucial information, perhaps, because, you said, the seats are right next to each other and our bags look alike, but he boarded the flight before you.
Yes.
Okay. So he put his bag above the seat that he was assigned to.
That was on his ticket.
You get on the plane, and I'm sure you get on the plane in your Crowder way. Hey, how you doing? All right. Almost like he's the pilot, And how's everybody doing? Everybody's ready. Okay.
Jovial, very talky. And through that hour and a half break we had, I went to the bar, had about 4 beers. I don't know where this bag was.
So his bag is placed where he believes he's going to be sitting.
Yes, which makes a lot of sense.
And then when the plane lands, you forget all that has transpired. You just grab the bag above your head, because why wouldn't your bag be right above your head?
And on the flight, as we're coming, you know how you're coming in and you can look down over Weston and Davie when you're coming in from the west? We're flying in, and Paul and myself, we're talking about, hey, old Davie, where do you live? I was like, by the K-pop tree. It's this old famous restaurant right by my house. And he's talking about, back in the day, they were like high school, proms there and things. And we're talking about Davie. And I look down and point down. I was like, yeah, like we're right on top of my house. I live in Grand Oaks. Paul texted me and said he was tracking his bag, and we just spoke an hour ago about where I live. He looks at his bag location, and it's on Grand Oaks Drive. And he's like, I know what idiot has my bag, the big drunk dummy that I gave his wife my seat.
Now, I will say this. Even with this new information, I still blame Paul Castronovo even more, because he knew that his bag wasn't right above where he was sitting, which is more of a reason to keep your eye on it, because now it's not, right above you, and sounds like he's sitting behind you.
Yes.
So he has a very good look at whatever bag gets pulled down. sounds to me, again, like Paul Castronovo's too busy yapping with Dwight Stevenson and O.J. McDuffie, and all of a sudden, he realized, because sounds to me like Paul didn't even get off the plane with the first class passengers. Sounds to me like he sat there and allowed all the coach passengers to walk past him, notice that it's Paul Castronovo, probably gave a couple of fist bumps. I think, again, this further information gives more clarity, but I think it puts more of the onus on him for not discovering that his bag had been taken by you.
I was wondering why Paul kept looking at everybody and saying, "Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me." I was like, what are you saying? And you know what? I'm not jumping on Paul, but if you know that you put your bag and traded seats with Liddy from Mice and Men, you might want to keep tabs on it.
Right.
Because people, you know I'm kind of aloof.
Right.
Yeah.
But Hawk, Crowder, I'm with Hawk. Hawk is spot on here. I mean, you keep track of your bag, but I have a picture of the two bags. They're both black carry-on, so I could see where the confusion comes from. But Crowder, I mean, one of those bags has a big Dolphins logo on it.
Right.
And one of them has a big name tag on it, which looks like a fish. I'm guessing that's yours, Crowder? I'm guessing?
No.
That's Paul.
I bet that's Paul's.
Come on, bro.
No.
Come on.
There's deeper. I like you brought the picture up because I told Paul this as well. I have that exact bag. The Dolphins, I don't know if it was a Jason Taylor event or something, but everybody have anything to do with the Dolphins has that same damn bag. So when I'm walking out and I look down and see the Dolphin, it's a bag I've taken on 100 trips as well. That I have that exact size, same bag from some charity event that Paul and myself did. So I didn't think anything of it. That little tag on it is the Star Lodge. It's like a crazy fishing place, like some of the best fishing in the world. And me and Paul have talked about going to the Star Lodge before and how it's just great fishing. I didn't even have to look at the name. As soon as I looked and saw the tag, I said, "That's Paul's damn bag." I'm literally in my living room when I noticed it.
You know what would have been funny? Because then you go to meet up with Paul and see him, just off 95. It would have been funny if you showed up wearing one of his shirts, but you don't acknowledge it.
That would have been nice.
And then you see if he says something. And then you just go, no, this is my shirt. And he knows that it's his shirt.
That would have been good. I would not open up that man's bag.
But I will tell you this. When I stand up and start getting bags out of the overhead, I'm always asking, is this yours? I hand it down to people. I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah.
If you would have asked, though, now that I think about it, if I'm Paul, if I know my bag has a Dolphins logo on it, I'm being extra certain that Crowder doesn't grab it by mistake, or OJ, or Dwight, or Kim Bocamper, or whoever else on the, you know what I mean? Like I mean, it's really, I believe it's Paul Castronovo's fault that the pilot had to abort the takeoff.
All yesterday was Paul's fault.
Guy turned a 2-hour travel day into an 11-hour nightmare, and it's his own doing.
Too talkative. I saw him talking to the pilot too. Might have thrown him off a little.
Of course.
Yeah. Come on, Paul.
Looked like he was wearing a sport coat on the plane as well. Was he wearing a sport coat and a button down?
Well, Paul stays clean now.
He does.
Yeah, he might wear tuxedo fishing. Paul's gonna be the cleanest thing in the room. And then Paul got a nice ass vehicle. Because if you're waiting for somebody and it's only meet me at the gas station, every car that pulls in, you look over. So I see a Prius come in, I see a Camry, and I'm kind of looking in the front window. And when Paul pulled up, I knew it was Paul. It was. What'd you say? Can't hide money? You can't hide money.
Got that iHeart money.
What? Woo.
Got that iHeart money.
I'd have traded cars with him on the spot.
We got to get this Odyssey stock price over $1. Telling you. Driving around, he's making me look bad in Boca.
we should ask Paul for a ride somewhere. Just make us feel special.
Let's get headlines here for the 4 o'clock hour. Headlines with Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. You're that guy, Hawk? You want to hand everybody their carry-on baggage?
Yeah, I want everyone to think that I've kind of taken control of the area.
Solana, he already said he's the get up as soon as the bell dings guy.
The worst. It's the worst kind of guy. It's what happened to us in Mexico City, where we landed, but there were no available gates for the plane to taxi. So people get up.
No. They don't ding the bell before there's no available gates.
People get up, and we're waiting for a gate. And now we're sitting there for 30 minutes.
You can't get up until you're parked at the gate.
I realize that, but people get up anyways because the plane has come to a stop, and it's in a line waiting for the next available gate.
You can't get up till you hear the bell.
No.
Okay, I understand the rules, Hawk. Yeah. I mean, you can't run a red light. People do it all the time as well.
You know what? It's so crazy.
But now people
for a fish, and I knew he was nibbling on the.
Now 35 people are just standing. Now you're just standing, but you've made the commitment
do that.
to stand.
You can't do that until you come to a complete stop at the gate.
Yes, we've established that, Hawk.
But
Crowder, what happens is these people have made the decision to stand now. So they're not going back on that decision. Now they've committed to standing, and now you're just the idiot standing.
Yeah, but then they say the pilot can't move the plane until everyone takes their seat.
You know what? I found out on this same flight, that's a lie. That the pilot can't move that plane if anybody's standing up. They yelled that to you 100 times because the flight was so long, and they had us because now we're late. So now we don't have a gate like Solana says. And the lady said, somebody gets up to go to the bathroom, and the lady says, now we can't move because someone's in the restroom. 8 seconds later, the plane starts riding around the corner.
Of course. All those rules are lies. You're telling me the plane can't land if I'm sending a text to somebody? Like the whole idea.
I mean, nobody does that anymore. Does anybody flip to airplane mode anymore?
I don't want to say it. I fly a lot. I won't get in trouble.
Nobody flips to airplane mode anymore.
You know what? Another thing, too, now that we're just being wrong, unplug your devices if you're in the exit row. So the guy in 19 can charge his phone. I'm in 20. I can't charge my phone. No, I'm leaving my phone plugged in.
It's the dumbest thing. I have to put up your tray table so that we can land. Oh, okay. Sorry, my tray table is going to put everybody in
no, but you do understand
way.
Why they say that.
No.
Really?
What? So that if you have something on the tray table and there's turbulence, it doesn't fall over?
Well, also, if there's a crash, a crash landing, you can't easily escape the rows if the seats are reclined because that's harder to get through for the people that are behind you, and the tray tables would prevent you or someone in your row if you're on the aisle seat from getting past that. So they try to make it the cleanest possible exit just in case something went wrong.
And if you do crash and there's a big piece of plastic right next to your lap and your head smashes into it, Solana.
Kind of impale you right in the chest there.
Yeah.
Come on.
But you got to wait. You can't stand, though, until that ding happens. The pilot will give you the ding.
And you know what else I found out about a Dolphin alumni? They put their seat back as soon as the flight attendants sit down. They don't even wait for takeoff.
That's a bad look as well. You got to wait for the ding on that one. I mean, there's a clear ding, 10,000 feet.
O.J. McDuffie.
O.J. McDuffie?
He was sitting right in front of me. Soon as the ladies buckled their seatbelts in their little jump seats, whatever they call them, OJ was sitting in my lap. He was laying his head on my lap. He jumped the route.
OJ, you got to flag him for illegal motion.
He got off too early.
Wow. That's a bad look. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm stealing bags. OJ's putting his seat back. We're heathens. Dwight Stevenson is the nicest dude in the world. He's hanging out with us. He wouldn't even turn around.
Were there any former Dolphins who didn't make the first class seating and were back with the normal folk?
I bet there were a lot.
One of them works here, Joe Rose.
Joe didn't fly first class.
It's funny because when they say group one, The whites up there, his wife's up there. Next is Juice and Paul. Next is me and Asia. I look over. Joe's in group 7 talking to somebody. But
Joe had to do the walk of shame past all of y'all.
But you know how Joe is. So Joe just screams out at C22. Oh, all y'all in first class, huh? Oh, that must be nice.
Oh, he spent the whole flight up there with you guys, though, right? I can envision it right now.
Once group 11 got in, he walked through first class with his phone out and was taking a video of everybody sitting in first class as he went back behind the little sheet. Go on back there. You want a sandwich, Joe? I'll send you a sandwich.
Like Bridesmaids. A great scene with Kristen Wiig and all her friends are flying first class. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm poor. I'm poor.
Joe made it fun. But yeah, Joe was back there in 34B leaning on the bathroom.
Poor guy doesn't know. You want to talk about somebody who really doesn't know how to use technology. Crowder just plays dumb. Traveled with Joe, and he really just never, like, he doesn't know how to open a boarding pass on his phone. So I had to.
He wants the paper boarding pass?
No, I mean, he's cool with the new boarding pass, but he just doesn't know how to access it. He doesn't know how to go onto the American Airlines app or the Delta app, put in his confirmation number and his last name, and click add boarding pass. Like, those things were always very challenging for Joe Rose. So I constantly had to do it for him and show him how to use his wallet. So I just imagine, like, him buying a ticket on American Airlines or whatever airline you were flying. Like, he just didn't know. He doesn't know how to do any of that stuff.
I was crazy surprised on Joe Rose. He wasn't on the thing, but we went from the rental car center to the, you have to take the little shuttle. We get off the shuttle, and all of us are on United flight, whatever it was. Me and Asia go straight to the gate, a little TSA pre-check. I would say 90% of that shuttle had to go to the kiosk and get a paper ticket. I was looking like, who are y'all? I don't even get a paper ticket, and I'm stuck in 94.